The tier 5 Popseidon Mermonkey is supposed to be the damage dealing pet, but let's see if that's actually true. So this is part 2 in our series in which we're taking a look at all of the Mermonkey upgrade pets, and we're talking about the Milliprat pet today. So let's test this thing out. Let's see how good the Milliprat Mermonkey is. Let's start with the sharper prongs. This thing gives it a little bit of extra pierce, and something I noticed, and I think this is true for all the cross pets, well at least I noticed it with the top cross pet, but the middle cross pet as well seems to be better cross petted with the bottom one. So this tower doesn't exactly make sense in a way that it can pop certain types of balloons, but then it cannot pop others. So for example, while it's like this, it cannot pop lead balloons, but it can pop purples. But once you buy the Riptide Champion, it cannot pop purples as well, so it actually becomes weaker versus him. So yeah, it's a very interesting tower in the way it works. And with the release of the Mermonkey, Ninja Kiwi has also released a code which you guys can redeem, and that code is Monclantis, and I have not redeemed it myself, so let's see what we get. It's gonna be the water balloon pop effect, the pufferfish Moab, and then 3 boardable lakes. I think this is it. Yep, there we go. And on the topic of codes, there's currently a tier 5 Insta Monkeys pack sale, which are extremely rare. They only happen for one day and then they're gone for a couple of months. Or if you guys are looking to unlock these towers without having to play for them, plus get yourself some tier 5 Insta Monkeys and exclusive avatars and banners, please don't forget to use my code EatherEat in the Bloons store. It really helps out a lot. Alright, so now back to our Mermonkey. As you guys can see, this thing is not exactly that good at defending these early rounds. And the reason is because it just doesn't have the attack speed, and especially when you go for the Echo Sense Precision. Yeah, so look at this, for example, round 13, and we're already running into some issue. We lost our road spikes, we lost our mana shield, and we're still leaking life. This is a 0-2-1 Mermonkey, which we spend, how much is it? Like at least over 1,000, maybe close to 1.5k, and this thing is still not defending. So let's give it a little bit of a helping hand. I'm using the water this time, so, and I'm saying this time because in my last video I did not place the Mermonkey in water, I placed it on land. That was actually on purpose. But let's go for the bottom cross, but let's get the Echo Sense network onto this one, and I'm gonna get the Echo Sense network on the other one as well, because we do want to get the range going onto this guy. So what does the Milliprat Mermonkey offer? Well, things are getting interesting when you buy the Riptide Champion, because this is where the Mermonkey starts using waves in order to pop the balloons, and these waves, whenever they expire or they crash into an obstacle or the edge of the map, they explode and they do extra damage. Ah yes, lead balloons, the arch nemesis of these Mermonkeys. Okay, so let me get an Alchemist which is gonna go like this. I only want him to buff this guy right here. This is gonna be the main one. Let's set the Alchemist on strong. Let's get the larger potions, and we should be fine for this lead round. And round 36, this is a very important round, because if we deal with at least the first wave of these pink balloons, we are gonna get the Riptide Champion, and once we buy this tower, we should, yes, okay, finally we got the money, so let me buy this thing, and look at this thing. Okay, so this is where the fun starts with the tier 3 and with the Milk Crosspat in general, because these Riptides, look at what they do. They kind of try and follow along the balloons, and because we have the bottom crosspat, the Echo Sense Precision, this is, in my opinion, the better crosspat for the Milliprat Mermonkey. So the way the Riptide Champion does damage is in 2 ways. Number one is, well, with these tridents that try and seek out the balloons and they just do damage when they hit them, but also, as you guys can somewhat notice it, when these waves explode, they also do some additional damage. And so once you buy the bottom crosspat, the seeking projectiles, you're essentially guaranteeing that at the end of the lifespan of your wave, it's gonna explode while it's near balloons, and you're in a way guaranteeing its damage. So that's why I think the bottom crosspat is actually better for the Milliprat. And round 39, so far so good. The problem that I'm having is the consistency of these waves, because I don't know how to play around this thing. So I know that when it explodes it does extra damage, but I don't know how to position my Mermonkey in order to get the most out of this. So essentially what I'm doing is I'm just praying that this seeking projectile is just gonna do the work for us. So let's see how we do versus mobs. Let's just check the damage. We do have an Alk buff, and it is doing 7 damage, 6 to 7 damage depending on whether or not it has the Alk buff, and that's really not a lot. I mean, this thing cannot even deal with a mob class balloon. Okay, that's really good to know actually. Okay, so let's go like this. Let me just buy a Moab Mauler, which I'm just gonna sell after we're done with this round. By the way, let me upgrade to the marketplace, because we do need to get farming as soon as possible. Let's sell this thing. And how is it doing? Yeah, it's so good versus small balloons. It's so good versus them. Let's watch it versus the ceramics in 43. So these waves, they kind of crash here into these trees at the bottom, but is that doing some I really cannot tell if that's doing any damage to these balloons. It seems to be dealing with these ceramics, right? Am I wrong about that one? I can see some leaks, but then again, a wave just comes in and sweeps those yellows. I don't know, guys. I'm having some troubles with the consistency with this crosspat. And by the way, look at what is happening with these purple balloons. We cannot pop purples with the waves for some reason. So yeah, we're either gonna leak these guys. We're gonna leak a decent portion of them, but we are playing on hard mode. So yeah, we have life to spare this time. And again, these purples, guys, and this is such a weird interaction. So no purple, no lead popping power, but once you buy the Arctic Knight, it can pop lead balloons, which is, I guess, good, but it still will not be able to pop purples. But once you use the ability, it's just so weird. I saw this meme, right? I'm actually gonna make it appear on screen, but it's like the ability can pop purples, but it cannot pop leads, and it's the other way around with the normal attack. Like, what is even happening with this tower? Let's do a mob damage check now that we have the Alchemist in the village. Is anything gonna change? I mean, the damage is about the same game, but we're gonna need some riptides to explode on top of the Moab, and it's just not happening. We're just not getting the explosion. Oh, wait a minute, those waves. Follow the balloons. I see a full ceramic. No, that's gonna be a full ceramic leaking. Okay, so note to self, the Millipede Mermonkey needs some extra Moab popping power, so let's go like this. Let's just give it the extra range, honestly. Let's just have like a 032 Mauler. This thing's gonna be set on strong, so it deals with the Moab class balloons, and then we're gonna wipe the small balloons with the Mermonkey. So yeah, this thing absolutely sucks versus Moab class balloons. Alright, so let's see how the Arctic Knight does now. So this thing costs $8,000, 8.6 to be exact, and what you can do is you can target the ability with this button right here, so you can have it follow your mouse, I think. So let me just try and use it. Oh no, it's actually set on targeting, so because we have it set on first, it's following the first balloon, but you can also have it set to attack a certain direction. Okay, so let's be mindful about that the next time we use the ability. But yeah, the ability is super strong. Okay, so now that we bought the Arctic Knight, I actually sold the Mauler that we have right here. Let's see if this thing is any better versus Moab class balloons. This is round 57, by the way, so 2x2 Moabs incoming. I'm not going to use the ability yet. I just want to see how the normal attack does. The normal attack should be getting upgraded with these waves, and yes, it's definitely a lot stronger than it was. I can see the freeze affecting a decent amount of balloons as well, but it's still not as consistent. Look at this thing. This is a pink balloon. Oh my god. And BFB incoming. Are we going to be able to destroy this BFB? I think we are with just the ability. The ability is so strong. That's for such a short amount of time, but it's so strong when it does happen. And we have a couple of mobs as leftovers, so I think that we are gonna be dealing with the leftovers, right? These waves do a lot of damage. If you get the wave explosion nicely, yes, it absolutely does deal with the small balloons, but again, I don't know how to play around this thing. It's the consistency of these waves is just so bad. Alright, so the big round. Now this is where hopefully our Riptide champ, it's not even Riptide, it's the Arctic Knight. Hopefully this guy shines versus a bunch of these ceramic balloons. So we know that it can deal with small balloons. It's just if you get the explosion of the waves correctly, we have the homing projectiles, and it seems to be dealing with them. But just remember that this is a very long map, so on shorter maps, you're probably gonna have to somewhat play around this thing, as in, you know, have the waves collide with an obstacle so that they explode and they do the extra damage. But yeah, so far so good. This is gonna be a wave number 3 of the ceramic, so it is dealing with round 63. I mean, no issues here so far. I am saving the ability on purpose because we're gonna have some mobs incoming on this one, so I'm gonna set this thing as strong, and as soon as the 45 mobs appear, I'm gonna use the ability. So let's bombard all of these guys. The ability does have a decent amount of pierce, it looks like, because it went through all of these mobs, it seems like. So a lot of 45 ceramics incoming. Let me overclock this thing, the Arctic Knight, for the first time, and let's see how strong these waves become now. So the consistency definitely should be getting improved versus small balloons, and the damage versus big balloons is becoming not that bad, honestly. I still haven't used the ability, and I know for a fact the ability gets affected if the tower is overclocked. So let me overclock it, and let me actually show this to you guys on round 75. So whenever you do, let's go on strong, by the way. Let's use the ability, and I think that's a lot more balls coming out just because this guy's overclocked it. Bam, that was so many BFVs that just disappeared. It's still struggling though. Look at this thing, 45 Moabs, come on. I'm gonna need those waves to start doing a lot of damage to these guys, because if this Moab makes it all the way around, no, it gets frozen. I think we have this thing. Yeah, there we go. But guys, we have $71,000 and Popseidon is 56. So finally we do get the money for this thing. So let's buy Popseidon. Oh my god, that was a huge range increase. Okay, so oh my god, with all these Mermonkeys. Okay, so you can actually see the start of the map, and he attacks with 3 tridents instead of 1, and I think the damage of each trident is doubled, and then it attacks in double the speed. So yeah, the damage increase is just so big in comparison to the Arctic Knight. But for a $56,000 tower, I do expect this thing to just start owning these balloons, and I don't want to see any leaks until the end of the game, because so far we've paid like closer to $70,000, and I can beat Chimson with 70k. That's what I'm saying. So this tower better defeat all the rounds by itself. Yeah, watching this guy go to town onto these balloons, I'm even more convinced that the correct cross path is the bottom one, just because you get the extra rain from the Echo Sense Network, which is really important. But these seeking projectiles, these seeking waves, you absolutely need them to seek the balloons and then explode on top of the balloons, because that's where a lot of the damage actually happens with these waves exploding. Look at what's happening. Wait a minute, this tier 5 is so good. Look at this. These balloons are not even making it past the first bend. These were, by the way, 45 balloons. That's just so strong. Yep, I'm officially impressed by Popseidon. Arctic Knight, not so much. The ability is strong, it can get buffed, but the consistency on the waves is just really not there. The same thing goes for the Riptide champion, but this guy, Popseidon is actually insane. It's way too good of a tower, so that's why I rebought all. Oh my god, that was a DTs, by the way. Yeah, I rebought all the farms because I do want to god boost this guy, and I do want to see how far it can get into free play mode by itself, because I actually do think that once you buy this tower, this is like an auto win tower. Like, this thing just doesn't lose. It currently has a 420 Alchemist and a 200 Jungle Jones Village on it. Like, that's about it. We're not buffing it in any other way, and this thing is not even getting, like, these balloons are not even getting close to us. Let's watch 95. So we should have some DDTs on this round, and I'm saying we should have because I'm barely seeing these guys. So as soon as he starts attacking, I think the splash damage from these waves is actually what's doing a lot of damage to these DDTs and just the mob class balloons in general. general. Yeah, I'm just so convinced that the bottom crossmet is the way to go for this tower. It's insane. Like, but we still haven't used the ability. So let me actually, it's round 96. Let's use the ability once and it freezes. Okay, so I'm watching these BFBs, so they do have a freeze effect on top of them. And also these balls, they just keep bouncing. And I know from the tier 4 that they also freeze balloons that they come in contact with. And so while the ability is nice and it does look like it does something, I guess I'm still more impressed by the just auto attack and how good this thing is while it's attacking the balloons. So I told you guys that if you buff Popseidon, it actually goes onto the ability. So let's use the homeland to the overclock. Let me use the ability right now. Look at, oh my god, so many balls on the screen. What? Wait, is the round gone? What's happening? Where are the ZMGs? Oh my god, this thing is not even attacking. The balls are just popping the entire round. This is so strong. Oh my god. Oh, wait a minute. 45 DDTs though. Did this guy find its match? 45 DDTs? That was not exactly expected, but we deal with them and this is gonna be the bad. So here's what I'm gonna do. Overclock again, homeland, and let's just use this ability. And how much is it gonna take for it to pop the bad balloon? The damage numbers are going insane, and it does seem like the bad balloon is a little bit too tough for this thing. I mean, it is popping it, to be fair, and it just did like a lot of damage to the bad layer. But look at these attacks go. It's throwing the trident so fast, and oh my god, I'm god boosting it, so we're not stopping here, guys. Let me buy the perma brew first, and there are a lot of balloons. This is round 104, so let's use the ability. Let's slow down all of these guys. Let's get those balls out on the screen. Let's have them jump around, and we do need to save the ability for round 106. Actually, how are we doing with the money? So if we sell all our farms, we are gonna have enough money for the temple, but we're not gonna have enough money for the ultra boost. This is round 106, by the way, so if you guys remember around 99, we did struggle a little bit versus 45 DETs, and the catch with these guys is that they're super fast. So let me overclock this guy. Let's just get the damage going through the overclock. Let's see how much of a difference the overclock makes. I am saving both the homeland and the Popseidon ability. It's called the ice jet ability, by the way, so I'm saving both of those guys. But so far so good. I don't see any issues, so it was only the overclock that was necessary. So yeah, this thing basically lacks attack speed. There's gonna be a huge wave of DETs, but yeah, no problem. A lot of ZMGs in this round. Let me overclock. Let me use the homeland ability as well. Look at those waves go. It attacks me 3 tridents instead of 1, and once you use these abilities, I don't think that anything is leaking anytime soon. I'm gonna be honest. Let me use the ability as well because a lot of ZMGs on this one. Oh my god, we caught the end of the homeland, I think. Alright guys, so we do have the money for everything that we need, so let me sell all these farms. First off, let me get the sun temple and let me give it some extra range. So yeah, bam, there we go. This guy is getting affected by the support temple's buff, and we also have the money for the ultra boost, so let me buy it. Let's start ultra boosting this thing and let's get this party started. Wait a minute, I just remembered the Mermonkey is a water-based tower, so if I buy something like this, a plutonium reactor, it is gonna get the cooldown reduction. Wait a minute. So if we get the energizer, basically this thing's cooldown is gonna go halfway there. So that is really, oh my god, that's so strong. I can't even start fathoming how strong we can make this tower, and we're just getting started. Channel 115, I know, but this tower can get so much stronger. It's insane. And we meet again a bad balloon. Well, actually, there's gonna be more than one in this round, so let's ultra boost. This is gonna be ultra boost number 5, and we do have the shortened cooldown onto the ice jet ability, so let me use it. And if I feel like this ability is just so much stronger than last time, so 3 bats. Let's use the homeland. There's so many waves going on. Oh my god, the splash and just the damage that this thing does is so. Look at those waves go. Look at the waves go, guys. Tell me this isn't insane. Oh my god, this thing does so much damage. So round 131. Is this gonna be the round which this thing loses? I haven't used an ability yet. I'm just letting it attack by itself, but it seems like these balloons are becoming way too beefy for it. So even though it's ultra boosted 10 times, oh, never mind. It actually might even defend this one. Yeah, but the balloons are definitely becoming a little bit too beefy for it. So it is holding on. Is it holding on? 100 lives? Are we gonna let this thing ride? I think I should use an ability. Let's freeze all of them. I think I barely got yeah, there we go. 25 lives. Okay, if one balloon leaks, we're done now. 140, a 45 bad. Can we deal with the 45 bad? Let's go all out on this thing. Let's use the ability. Let's use all abilities. Actually, let's see how much damage this thing does. The damage numbers are going insane. 20 million pops in total. It's just lagging because we have so many things active, and the lifespan actually on these balls is getting extended when you get the tier 5, so they are doing a lot of damage just because they're buffed as well. I'm gonna use the ability again, but I don't know, guys. Are we even defeating this thing? I feel like maybe with the abilities there's like a second bad incoming. Thankfully the one at the back is not 45, so we might even be able to deal with this thing. Let's use the homeland because it did come off cooldown. I think we're popping this thing. It's just that are we gonna be able to stop the DDTs is my question, and no, they're super fast. So round 40 is where the Popseidon's journey ends. We tried with all the abilities. The tier 3 a little bit underwhelming. The tier 4 a little bit underwhelming just in terms of their consistency with the small balloons, so you are gonna need a little support in some other towers obviously to kind of make this tower work. But I'm super impressed by Popseidon. The fact that it just becomes so much stronger, gets so much damage, the ability can get buffed by all these external towers, so that makes this thing even more fun to play. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. That was the Millipede Mermonkey, and I'm gonna see you guys tomorrow for the bottom path.